For more on this now, let's bring in I-24 News international affairs correspondent Batya Leventhal. She joins me live here in studio. Batya, what's the latest on this? Break it down for us.
Well, this is quite an intense story. It does seem that the U.S. intelligence agency did go behind the Biden administration's back. We are talking about NSO Group, which was actually blacklisted by the Department of Commerce in the United States back in November, which forbids any American firms, whether government-owned or private, to do business with these kinds of companies. Obviously, from the Israeli perspective, them wanting to be able to extend their business to the U.S., as this blacklist does make it very difficult for them to conduct business elsewhere, not just in the U.S., but obviously any other company that's looking at doing so if the United States, a major department in the United States, has effectively put it on this list. What is quite interesting is that the group did turn around, the L3 Harris group did turn around and make a comment saying that they have ended all transactions, all the business negotiations have come to a full stop. But then again, we are hearing reports that they are trying to resuscitate those negotiations. We know that Israeli officials have also made headway in trying to sort of convince the Biden administration to reverse the decision to place that company on the blacklist. But for now, it seems that that is in place. The Biden administration was not in the knowing of this. And as it stands, this is going to be a very scandal-ridden thing that is going to overshadow Biden's visit to the region.
Well, that leads to my next question about tying it into the U.S. president's trip to the region. How does it affect everything? Because the countries he's visiting buy and sell this software to each other.
Exactly. Israel doesn't really have such a big normalization deal with Saudi Arabia. In fact, so much is out there in terms of that leap. With regards to the Abraham Accords, other countries are a bit more forward. They do have covert security ties with Saudi Arabia. Pegasus, the NSO spyware, obviously being one of those that has been sold to Saudi Arabia. In fact, Israel has actually refused to sell the same spyware to Ukraine because it might damage its ties with the Kremlin. With that being said, Biden's damage has already been done. His ratings are falling through the roof at the moment domestically. How this is going to impact him both from a foreign perspective in terms of how the U.S. is standing on the issues of privacy, human rights, because of the fact that this is spyware that targets political leaders as well as journalists, is a big, big factor. But also domestically in terms of how the Americans are going to be looking at this and saying, well, is this the right path for the president to be taking in order to sell, or for America to be involved in such a scandal? That's going to be up to debate. But for the time being, it does seem that this is really going to affect the polls back home.
Certainly a very interesting story indeed. I-24 News international affairs correspondent Batya Leventhal joining me live in studio. Thank you.
Thank you.